Welcome to Tesla Life. If you like this video, please subscribe and share the video with your friends. And I would appreciate it if you press that little like button.
So I wanted to do a deep dive on the lane departure warning and the emergency lane departure warning. So here we go. So I read that basically if it detects that your hands are not on the wheel, like here, and you drift off, notice how it gives the corrective steering action applied for safety. But if I'm holding the wheel and steering, and then I steer into the same, did it that way. I thought that if you were steering off the lane, it wouldn't do it. It didn't do it in that case. It could be that it's raining out, but let's steer. Yeah, so I'm not sure whether your hands are on the wheel or not that will prevent it. I think it's more of a let's try here. Yep, that was a slow, but let's try just to turn off of it. Yeah, so if I turn right off of it, let's try it again here. I'll just turn right through it and it doesn't go off, because I guess I'm steering. But if I drift with my hands on the wheel off, sort of a slow drift, we'll have to do it there. Now it's not very clearly lined here, so not be a good example. Yeah, so here we will drift off slowly, and it pushed me back on. Plus you have to be going at least 25 miles an hour. So let's try it here. Ooh, didn't do it there. It's going on the slower side, so I don't know whether it was the speed that I was traveling. Could have been. And it works whether you're in cruise or not in cruise. Pretty hard to see that right lane. So I'm going to just let it go off. Steers back. Now it gives you the countdown so that if I don't do anything for a while, it's going to shut down and just stop me. So that warning is just like Autopilot. If Autopilot senses that you're not your hands are not on the wheel by sort of giving a little bit of torque or twist. And I believe this emergency lane detection warning will also eventually time out and stop the car. So I guess if you're asleep at the wheel, it's going to save you for a little while going at whatever speed you have, let's say in cruise, and then ask you to take over. So we'll try it again here. I'm going to keep my hands on the wheel this time, but not steer. Right. Now this time I'm going to keep a torque on the wheel. There just was a slight assistance. Yes. So it's giving me a slight assistance. That might be the difference. My hands on the wheel or not on the wheel. Let's see if we can figure that out. My hands on the wheel, it just pushed me back into the lane. So what I'm going to do is keep my hands on the wheel, but just drift off the road. Can't figure out why. Sometimes it just pushes me back. It might have been because we were going at a high speed, and quasi-highway there, but it had stoplights. So here I've got a little curve. Let's see, go around a little too much. Didn't engage there. Okay, so put it on cruise, 40, let's do 35. Big curve coming up here, and what I'm curious is, does it work on a curve if you cross over that left lane? I'm going to try to do it slowly. Hopefully there's no oncoming traffic. Nope, didn't occur there. Didn't occur there. Didn't occur there. So it may not work on curves. That's really interesting. Try it in the other direction. Now here's the opposite situation. I wonder if I overturn on this curve. There's nobody coming. Nope, did not engage. Let's try it here in the straightaway. Just slowly cross over. Wow, it's just not engaging. It's funny. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Let's turn around. So, yep, there it goes. Now it's working. Sometimes it works. Hopefully there's no cars coming and I can drift past over this double line here. Did not engage. Not engage. Try it here. Yep, engage there. Try it again. Yep, engage there. Okay, hopefully there'll be no cars on this turn. Looks like I got a good situation. Overturn here to try to. Did not engage. Let's try one more time. Did not engage. Can't do it. Yeah, so it may not be reliable on curves. It could just be that there's engage there. I was going to say it could be because there's no right line, but it's definitely working here on the straight little area. I'm coming over a crest. Didn't work there. Let's see if it works here. Nope, didn't work there. So it's not 100% reliable to work, but it does work a fair amount of times. So nice car. Here I'm going to not touch the steering wheel. Jump into our corrective steering action. Corrective steering applied for your safety. And so there's a difference between steering across the line like that, no problem, but I'm going under the speed limit, so it doesn't kick in until 25 miles an hour. So let's try it up here. Now, it's been occurring not where I don't intentionally try to make it occur, and I just happen to get too close to a line. I've actually, just a little while ago, was surprised at the car steering back after I just went close to that line, white line on the right. Happened to me twice when I didn't expect it. So once you engage this, you will definitely feel it from time to time, because we all don't drive perfectly in the center of the lane. And it'll be interesting if I can capture that where I actually don't drive. But here you'll see if I purposely go over the lanes, it does not engage by steering over the lane. But if I sort of just loosely let go of the steering wheel and drift over, there it actually allowed it. So it doesn't work all the time, which is key. So again, I'm going to just loosely let go of the steering wheel, keep my hands close. There, it picked it up, and I I think it beeps until, again, I'm going to loosely let go. Let's see how long that beeps for. Yeah, as soon as I start steering again, the beeping goes away. So let's try it again. Just loosely hold on. And let it do it again. It didn't do it the second time. Interesting. Poor people behind me are gonna think I'm nuts. So that was interesting. It caught the first one, went back. I didn't really steer. The beeping kept going, and then it allowed it to cross over a second time. I thought I would have caught it. I think I've had it actually catch me multiple times. So now here's an interesting situation. I'm going to leave this. Steered it. I wonder how long I can go. And it didn't steer it the second time going across the line there. So that happened twice. I guess once the alert sounds, it may not re-engage a second time. I sort of expected it to. You would think it would continue to keep you in the lane, but maybe it wants you to take over once it gives that sound. Now, here we can try it. The lane line is relatively faint. Let's wait for no cars. Okay, there's no cars coming, and we'll let it drift. Drifted straight across it, so that didn't work. Let's try. I got a bus coming. Don't want to drive into the bus. Maybe right after this bus. There it goes. Caught that. Now I'm curious if it'll do it again. It doesn't. So it looks like in that mode it only does it once. Okay, we're going to take a look at the lane departure warning. And I'm in cruise control, getting on a highway. So we're going over 25 miles an hour, which it kicked in. Wow, it just steered a little right as I was trying to get through those dotted lines on the on-ramp. That was an interesting thing. So let's see if I slowly go across without my hands on the wheel, the dividing line. But if I go across harder, it hesitated a little bit and then let me get through. So changing lanes, let's try it again. We'll go this way. Yeah, it's giving me a little resistance as we cross over the line. Oh, because I didn't put my blinker on. Duh. So now if I put my blinker on, it's not a problem. Put my blinker on again, not a problem. So I have a bad habit. I apologize, everybody. I don't use my blinker enough. So as long as you put your blinker on, you're not going to get that little pull on the steering wheel. So we'll just confirm that. We'll go back and forth without the blinker and then with the blinker one more time to confirm it. Okay, so I'm going to go across without the blinker slowly. Get a little pull. As long as I've got my hands on the wheel, I can really just absorb that pull. Let's go to the right without my blinker. Again, slight pull, and then it was fine. Now, once some cars pass me, I'll put the blinker on and do it. And I assume I will not feel that little pull. So I've got my blinker on, go across slowly, no problem. And put my blinker on, go to the right, real slowly, no problem. Hands on the wheel in all of those tests. So now, I'll keep my hands on the wheel, but I won't give any resistance or torque on the wheel. And we'll see how this goes. So I'm going to try to line it up to just slide left in a construction zone, so it's not an ideal situation here. So I've got my hands on the wheel lightly, and it's steered back. It starts beeping. Let's try that again. Get it lined up to go across. And it pulls back. So I think that same pull occurred with my hands on the wheel, but I don't think I got the same message. Let's try that. I'm going to have my hands on the wheel semi-firm. And it's not the pressure on the wheel, it's the torque on the wheel that it senses your hands on the wheel. And actually, maybe I can go right here. So I got a lot of traffic. I'm waiting for some of this traffic to get by me. Okay, I'm going to go to the right with my hands on the wheel, slowly. Got a little pull. I'm going to watch the screen here. We're going to go to the, oops. Go to the left here, hands on the wheel firm. Yeah, a little pull, but it's not enough to really stop you from doing it. It's like a surprise little push, but no alert, if you noticed. So it can sense when you're not putting torque on the wheel. They call it hands on the wheel. And so if I do that, real light feel, let it drift left, it senses that and gives you the alarm, and then you just wiggle the wheel and it disables the alarm. So it's pretty cool. It's sensing that I am steering in a sense, and in one case it's just pushing back slightly. There I had my hands on the wheel, but I wasn't really giving much torque. So let's try that again. Go to the right, real slight, and then I took over. Oh, so maybe if you don't take over, that's when the alarm comes on. Let's see if we can determine that. So in every case, I'm getting the little pull, wiggle on the wheel to try to steer back. So we'll go left. Pushed back. I think I was steering ahead of time. I'm trying to be real careful when there's no cars behind me doing this. So now the next test is to drift without torque on the wheel with my blinker on and see if it just lets it drift across a line. So I'll put on my blinker. No real touch, and it does let you drift across a line without any warning. So we'll try it again. Once we straighten out here, I'll be able to drift. Actually, you know what? I'll drift to the right here with my blinker on the right, and it lets me go across the line without a problem. There we go, drifting to the left. Nothing, it's letting me go across the line, no warning. So once your blinker's on, it really deactivates the whole lane departure warning, and you must be going above 25. So below 25 or with your blinker on, it's not going to engage whatsoever. So here's a big turn. I am going to let it drift. Yeah. So again, big turn, just let it drift. It steers back on. Now, how long does it stay like this? I supposedly got my hands close. Ooh, and it bounced back there on the other side. Now it just started slowing down. I got cars behind me, so I didn't want to let it slow down, but I think it'll go all the way down to 0. So it actually bounced back and forth on those 2 lane lines. I guess it would just keep me in this lane, slowing down to 0. That was pretty interesting. So curves, it works on curves. I'm going to get in the right lane and try to drift off the solid white lane. Okay, so here, loosely, and it steered me back on. Now if I just drive, let's try this. If I just drive close to the line, yep, pushed me back without a warning. So I'm just going to drive like real close to the line. Yep, it's pretty cool. That's what I experienced twice on a local road. It just happened to be a little too close to the right edge. Yep, it just keeps pushing you back. It's a pretty nice feature. So let's put my blinker on. Yep, let you go straight across a line, white line. Let's see if I can go across. If it lets me go across this. No, it doesn't let you go across that. If I had my blinker on, it would have drifted across. So it's really going to motivate you to use your blinker, which I don't. I apologize. I don't use enough. So here, just drift. Yep. Now, I wonder if I've got my hands on the wheel tight, slightly steering, giving torque. Nope, that still pushes back, going off to the right. It's really pretty cool. Try going off to the left. A little steering action. Yep. So even if I'm wiggling the wheel, it is still bouncing me off that line. So you try it again. Yep. Now it does it once, but then I guess I started steering, so I took over. Again, you should be using your blinker. I apologize, I'm not using my blinker. Really just trying to let you understand how this whole thing works. And it's really just a adaptation of Autopilot, because Autopilot knows how to stay in the lanes, knows how to read the lanes, and steers you in the center of the lane. So they've just leveraged the current knowledge of whether you're going outside your lane to give us a warning when we're not in Autopilot. But it's pretty cool. I don't think any other car does this. There may be some. So now I'm going to put my blinker on. I can cross lines, no problem with my blinker. Here's a really bad right line, pretty bad looking. I'm going to go up to, yep, still recognize it as a road line. So sometimes you're noticing just a blue line with no warning. We'll watch it here. Just go across. Yeah, it just pushes us back, torques the steering wheel slightly. So I got an exit coming out. Oh, it just pushed me back. I didn't even know I was getting close to the right line. Okay, what I'm going to do here now is just put it on cruise and show you the lane departure warning. So if at any time I cross any of these lanes without putting my blinker on, it's going to identify it with a line. Wow, look how many lanes it's detected here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was pretty cool. Also notice the lights on, car lights just came on, I think. So let's say I just go a little bit to the left here. Well, I'm gonna wait for a car to pass me. Okay, so I am on cruise, and if I try to cross this lane lightly, it pushes me back. And then once I get up here where there's a white line, if I try accidentally to cross over that white line, it gives me a warning. It's probably the emergency lane departure warning, because I was going to go off the road, whereas crossing a lane is not as severe. Let's try it again to the right. Try to go real softly. Okay. Yeah, so I guess it depends on how severe you're going to cross. Let's cross a little more severe. That way, I got a little vibration, but I held the steering wheel tight. Could be related to whether I have my hands on the wheel or not. Hands on the wheel basically means torque on the wheel. So let's try crossing the right lane. I'm just going to set it up and keep my hands close. Yeah, take control, vehicle departure lane. Whereas if I have my hands on the wheel and I'm steering, I don't know why it slowed down there. That was weird. Could have picked up some traffic. So if I steer over that lane, it just bounces back because I'm actually steering and it knows I have my hands on the wheel. And here, if I steered across that lane, I crossed it pretty fast and it didn't pick it up. Let's cross it the other way. Again, without my blinker. Did not pick it up. And if I do it very gradually, let me slow down here a little bit. So if I do it gradually, it picks it up and pushes you back. Now if I put my blinker on and do it gradually, it does not push you back. Let's see what happens if I have my blinker on to the right and go gradually off of this white line. Oh, put my blinker on again. I think my blinker went off that first attempt. I'll try it here. There's nobody behind me. Car's way ahead of me. So, put my blinker on to the right and gradually go off that. Yep, it's letting me go across it. I showed earlier that the blinker really disables the lane departure warning completely. And I have nobody behind me, so I think I'm going to try letting it, see if it slows the car down to a dead stop. Okay, it should eventually. Boy, it's bouncing it back. Yep. Car's going down to a stop. Look at that. Oh, we just went down to 40 miles an hour. Didn't stop. There's nobody behind me, so I'm okay here. But it just keeps bouncing off that lane. It's pretty interesting. But it's not stopping the car. I had thought, come to a stop. I had thought it would eventually bring the car to a stop, but it didn't. That was pretty cool. Hopefully you saw that well. Had my hands close. There was no cars behind me. A little crazy, but that's me.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe on the top left and share the video with your friends. My other Model 3 videos are here in the middle. If you want 5,000 miles of free supercharging, please use my referral code listed on the bottom. My Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter accounts are on the right, And check out my new channel, Pickleball is Life. It's a great game, and subscribe on the bottom left. Take care.